Hey guys, Crypto Dad here again, and today I'd like to cover the recent Trezor breach. So, what if someone calls you on the phone, they claim they're from Trezor or some sort of tech support company or even law enforcement? They have your name, they have your address, obviously they have your phone number, and they also know that you recently bought a Trezor device. Sounds pretty convincing, doesn't it? Well, just because someone knows your name does not mean they are who they say they are. You have to be extremely careful when people call you and give you personal information. I know there's a lot of people that immediately assume that just because someone knows your name and your address and your phone number, that they are legitimate. This is really not the case today in today's society where data breaches are becoming all too common. And that particular type of scam is probably going to be one of the most convincing. There are a lot of others that are going to be occurring through email and text. And I want to explain exactly what these are, how to deal with them, and also what you should do as far as the possibility of physical attacks. Now, I know a lot of people are worried that someone's going to be breaking down their front door with a crowbar in their hand. This is a legitimate fear, but it's a worst case scenario and is going to be pretty rare. I want to give you an overview of exactly what happened, how many people were affected, and what you can do to protect yourself. Before I go much further, I want to emphasize that this breach that occurred was not Trezor Systems themselves. It was their third-party shipping partner called Shipmonk. So no Trezor Systems were affected. And your private keys and your backups are not even in Trezor's database. Those are local to you, created randomly by your wallet. So you don't have to worry about Trezor's systems or wallets being compromised. Also, note that this is a specific data breach of a very small slice of Trezor owners. In fact, people who have purchased Trezors in the last few months. If you are a long-term Trezor holder, you are not affected by this data breach. Trezor already requires Shipmonk to delete customer database information after 90 days. They are also moving to a more anonymous way of doing their deliveries that can shield your name and address in the future. So keep an eye out for that. Just know that Trezor is aware. They've been fully transparent about this, and they are taking concrete steps to update their shipping methods to prevent something like this from ever happening again. So let's jump in. I'm going to explain exactly what happened and explain what you need to do to protect yourself. So Trezor recently disclosed that Shipmonk, one of their third-party payment processors, recently suffered a database breach that exposed customer records. The incident affected 13,689 Trezor customers across 7 countries. Now, not all customers had their full data exposed. According to Trezor, 11,742 customers had their name, email address, phone number, and full shipping address exposed. Another 1,947 had their name, city, and email address exposed. This was not an exposure of Trezor's architecture, firmware, or manufacturing process. And it's also important to keep in mind that Trezor does not store your private keys or backups. Those are created locally when you initialize your wallet. Now, many people are jumping to the conclusion that somehow these attackers know your balances. They don't. They only know whether or not you own a Trezor device, and they don't know whether you have $500 worth of cryptocurrency or $5 million worth of cryptocurrency. And that makes a big difference when it comes to the style of attacks that they're going to employ. So as I mentioned, I have several news stories here that I've got linked down below. I encourage you to check them out and read them if you want to get a much more detailed account of exactly what happened. But let's talk about that worst case scenario, the dreaded $5 wrench attack. According to the figures in the articles that I've linked down below, wrench attacks account for about $58 million worth of theft. That compares to the billions of dollars that have been stolen due to crypto scams. According to the FBI's figure, in 2025, $11.6 billion of value was stolen from crypto holders due to scams and phishing attacks and the more traditional remote types of attack. But concerning the wrench attack, criminals are not irrational animals, although a lot of us might want to think of them that way. They're just normal human beings like you and me who've decided to turn to a life of crime. But they have their own cost-benefit analysis, or what we might call the risk-reward calculation, even if it's just a casual one that they do in their head. In order to physically attack someone in their home, they're putting their own bodies at risk. They might get arrested, they might get reported by alert neighbors, or worse, they might face a vicious dog or a homeowner with a gun. They are literally risking their life each time they decide to physically target someone. That's a very high risk proposition for a return that they're not even certain of. They don't know whether you have a little bit of crypto or a lot of crypto. So they might do some reconnaissance through email, text, or phone calls. That's why it's vitally important that if anybody calls you regarding this, claiming to be from Trezor or some sort of tech support company, or even law enforcement, they might sound very legitimate and they're going to have all of your personal information. Don't ever tell them how much crypto you own. I had a friend that was recently asked by a scammer to take a screenshot of his Bitcoin wallet. And he told me that he didn't reveal this information, but he asked me, would they have any way of stealing my Bitcoin if I shared simply my balance? And I told him no. But if you share a screenshot of your balance, now the attacker knows how much you have. So don't ever fall for these types of scams where they're asking you to share your balances with them. Vitally important to protect against the wrench attack. Also, do what you normally do to protect yourself and your family. Lock your doors, lock your windows, install security alarm systems, get a dog, and most importantly, be vigilant wherever you go. Make sure that you keep an eye out for anyone that might appear to be following you in your car or as you're walking. These are all just common sense precautions that we should already be taking anyway. So let's talk about the real danger posed by a data breach such as this, and that is targeted social engineering. Keep in mind that the Trezor data breach was only around 14,000 customers that were directly affected. But because of all the news coverage and people that are panicking, they're going to target Trezor owners in general, because a lot of people may not even realize that it only applies to a small subset of recent Trezor purchases. So normally when you get an email or a text and it says your crypto wallet has been compromised, your radar usually will tell you that's a scam. But if it's more personally directed, like, hey Rex, your cryptocurrency was recently affected in this latest data breach, you need to take immediate action now. Those are the kinds of buzzwords and manipulation techniques that are going to press your emotional buttons. So those are the things that you really need to be aware of. So what are the types of things that they're going to present to you? And these are the things that you really need to be aware of. They're going to tell you that you were affected by the latest data breach and that you must now immediately verify the security of your wallet. That's a big one. Your wallet is not secure anymore. And so the victim will think, well, they know my name, they know my address, they know my phone number, so this must be legitimate. Another big scam is that they'll say your funds are at risk and they need to be immediately moved to a secure location. Well, let me tell you, that secure location is usually the scammer's wallet address. So don't be convinced by anyone that contacts you through email, text, or phone call claiming that you need to move your crypto immediately. That's a scam. And it's a big one. It happens a lot. And once you've made that transfer to the scammer's crypto address, there's no way to get that crypto back. Crypto transactions are irreversible. You might be able to report them and help law enforcement target the criminals, but in very rare cases do people actually get their assets back. So don't transfer your crypto anywhere because of a phone call, an email, or a text and someone that's putting pressure on you. And of course, they're going to know your name and your address and everything else. So don't let that push your emotional buttons. We could see fake Trezor websites, fake Trezor Suite downloads, QR codes in physical letters, fake replacement device programs. They might claim, hey, we're going to replace your device for you. Don't be taken in by these types of scams either. Another thing that you need to be on the alert for, and this is related more to the cold card incident. I recently received an email supposedly from Trezor telling me about the cold card incident and that I immediately needed to add a passphrase. And of course, there was a link that explained exactly how to do it, which eventually led to a website where they asked for my 24-word seed phrase. Please don't be fooled by any of these topical scams. They're going to use hot button issues, stories that are in the news lately, like the cold card vulnerability or the recent Trezor data breach, to convince you that they're legitimate. They're going to use these hot button stories to manipulate you and trick you into doing something that's going to be catastrophic for your crypto holdings. They're basically just going to clean you out when really your crypto was fine the way it was. Basically, what I want to drive home here is that these stories are legitimate. There's something you should be concerned about, but the greater risk is the sense of panic that a lot of people might get behind these stories that's going to leave them in a weak emotional state and open them up to scammers and phishers. The main defense against these types of attacks is to remain skeptical, remain calm, and don't allow your emotions to dictate your actions. Scammers are well aware of these psychological tricks, so don't let any scammer trick you into entering your seed phrase into a website or giving it out over the phone or in a text or an email, or being tricked into making large transfers of your cryptocurrency into so-called secure locations. That is an easy way to lose all of your crypto. If you have any questions about anything I said, please throw them up in the comments and I'll do my best to get them answered. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me and hope to see you again soon.